Hello and welcome back to another episode on the Andrew Plays channel of the Alpine F1 Manager Career Mode. We're back today for the Belgian Grand Prix. We've had the summer break. We've got a new front wing and a new underfloor on the car. And hopefully we're going to have a thrilling weekend of action. I've made big mistakes because I forgot to do a little intro before I clicked go to race weekend. This is me and Football Manager. I'm used to getting the option to say no at that point and being able to go, oh, hold on, I'm recording this. Let me go back a second. So we haven't done that, but what we have done is we have got a new front wing and a new underfloor on both cars. We actually had to do the underfloor as an emergency to get it on the car. However, I did feel it was very important for us to have it for this race. As we can see here, expected strategies is going to be a one-stop, either softs to mediums, soft to hards, or mediums to hards. We're probably going to go for soft to medium for Ocon, and maybe soft to hard for Alonso. We'll figure it out as we go. But with the upgrades, I'm hopeful that we can have a very good Grand Prix. What I am looking at is maybe taking another engine for Ocon, because then he'd also have a very fresh engine for Monza where we need that fresh engine. It's a very tempting idea, so we may well look at that later in the weekend. But for now, we'll head into practice as usual. I'll see you after practice, and we'll see how we then go and get on in qualifying. Well, disaster in P1. I think it's a Mercedes. He's took out both our cars. Literally, they're out of qualifying. They've destroyed our car. I didn't think Mercedes would sink so low, but there we have it. Lewis Hamilton is trying to cheat for Mercedes to get third in the Constructors' Championship.
Copy.
How the mighty have fallen.
Copy that.
So we've finished the free practice sessions. In P1, we had Piastri 13th, Ocon 14th. Obviously not many laps for them because of Lewis Hamilton. Cheers for that again. P2, we had 15th and 17th. However, we did swap two engine parts that are quite worn because the parts that Hamilton hit, some of them were just destroyed. P3, we had 11th and 16th. And we're going to head into qualifying now. Given what's happened, free place grid penalty. So we're gonna go for new parts. New ERS for Alonso. He can continue with his 70% engine. Actually, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a new engine for him as well, so that we've got two really good engines. Why not? And then actually, we're then going to stick him on the 70% engine. Save that 100% one for Monza. Ocon. He needed a new engine very soon anyway, so we're going to take that right now. ERS, he also needs new. Which, again, we're going to take right now. And Gearbox, he didn't need a new one until Lewis Hamilton came around. And because of that crash, he does need a new one. So, we are basically guaranteed we're going to be starting at the back. We will still try and compete in qualifying and see how we get on. But in the end, we're going to be starting at the back of the race. However, having said that, a lot of people have got grid penalties. So, realistically, I think we can get above Pierre Gasly and Mick Schumacher. Maybe above Hamilton, given that we've got completely fresh engine. If they're not using a brand new full engine, then maybe we can get the jump on him as well. But we'll head into qualifying now. I'll see you towards the end of Q1 or Q2. So we are approaching the end of Q1. We sent our guys back out and didn't get back in time to go out on this final run. So we are kind of just really hoping
Nice job, mate.
that not enough cars improve as they start to cross the line now. The track has dried up massively. Although, I'm saying this. Okay, so Mick's gone 5th. Ricardo goes above us. Perez goes above us. We can probably expect the Mercedes both to end up above us. Same for the Ferrari. Oh no, Sainz doesn't go up very far. Sainz could be in trouble here. Sainz could be massively in trouble. Oh, he's just about going to survive. I mean, we're through pretty comfortably, 9th and 12th. Sainz has scraped through by the skin of his teeth. He's got a grid penalty anyway, but it would have been nice to have been starting ahead of a Ferrari had that been the case. We'll head now into Q2 where it looks like we are going to be on the dry tyres. So we are now on board with Alonso for his final flying lap. Ocon is just behind him. Alonso and Ocon, to be fair, got caught up in a bit of traffic on their outlaps. I think Alonso a little bit more than Ocon was. So Alonso currently sat in 12th. However, green in sector 1. Green in sector 1 for Ocon as well. About a 10th slower. In fact, not even that, like half a 10th. And now coming through towards the end of sector 2. Can we go green again? Alonso does. Ocon follows shortly. There's a few hundredths in between them this time, as we start to see drivers cross the line. And now Alonso round the final corner. Can he move himself up? He's about half a second away from safety. Moves himself up to 7th. Ocon then moves himself up to 9th. Tsunoda can't improve. Sainz can't improve. Oh wow. I know Sainz has a grid penalty, but surprising to see him out in Q2 and bottom of it as well. So a little bit of extra work for him come race day. So something very bizarre has happened here. We've had rain early on in Q3. It's meant to go dry towards the end of the session, but will that be in time for the track to dry up? Because as it stands, we've got 3rd and 4th, half because the track was... It started raining when we were around here, the end of sector 2. And everybody else, we were like the... Well, funnily enough, we were the 3rd and 4th cars out behind Perez and Zhou. And then, obviously, once that's happened, I mean, everyone's headed out. There's no point. We might as well just keep our tyres fresh. Because these guys are all going to head out. What tyres are they on? They're on intermediates. It's a complete waste of time. And now the track's gone dry. But they're already halfway around the laps. On intermediates. We're 3rd and 4th as far as qualifying goes. Wow. Leclerc on intermediates has just gone quicker. I stand corrected. However, none of that matters because we're getting thrown to the back of the grid.
The grid is packed and there's electricity in the air. But there's no surprises in that. It's race day.
Alpine demonstrated a lot of grit during qualifying here and will be hoping that the hard work pays off when it comes to the race. We saw a reasonable push from Mercedes in qualifying, and they'll have plenty of opportunities here to achieve a great result. A sunny day here with only a few clouds in the sky. If things stay this way, the weather shouldn't pose any challenges to the teams.
Well, this may well be another Belgian Grand Prix for the ages. So stick around and find out how it all ends.
So we're expecting a dry Grand Prix, but let's go and find out where we're actually going to be starting. 12th for Alonso, 17th for Ocon. So obviously we took a little bit more of a penalty with Ocon. Bear in mind, that's Alonso with a grid penalty as well. So I'm guessing I think he was 4th. And we had the 3-place grid penalty and then a 5-place engine penalty. So he drops down to 12th. So opportunity here for us. I think we've got to go for either the soft to hards or the soft to mediums. I think we go with Alonso soft to hards, and with Ocon we'll go soft to medium so that we can just try and make them last a little bit longer. if we were to go attacking, that would run the hard tyres into the ground. So I think what we'll try and do is go attacking and then maybe a bit more balanced with with Alonso in the second half of that, because that should help us out in the second half of the Grand Prix. And then Ocon, that's the only thing, is even on balanced, that's dropping the tyres into that bit where, I mean, right at the end of the race, so it wouldn't be the worst time. Everybody will be struggling towards that, but we might have to go like a little bit light at times. Or do we go with the hard plan? I think we do. We'll go attacking with Ocon as well. We'll swap to the hards. If anyone can make those hards last to the end of the race, no problem at all. It's definitely Esteban Ocon. We'll do an extra lap for him, so we'll plan for Ocon to pit on lap 14 and Alonso to pit on lap 13, and hopefully our plan will all come together.
I hope I'm not tempting fate here, but there are quite a few clouds overhead as we look at the lineup on the grid. Looking at Fernando Alonso here. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. Further back, we've got Esteban Ocon. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. And we're just moments away now.
The cheek of it.
You can hear the excitement in the crowd here at the Belgian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
I'll have you know, we're at the back because in practice, Hamilton decided to try and kill us.
Nice one, mate.
Perez leads into turn one. We're going to jump on board with Fernando Alonso, who's made an early position. He's got past Carlos Sainz of all people. He's on the back of Alex Albon. Surely we can clear him. Gasly's overtook Ocon. That's not. Verstappen started at the back. And surely we can pass Albon down the straight. There it is. We've took our time about it. But Alonso back into the points.
That's all good.
Realistically, for Alonso, I think Vettel, Magnussen and the McLarens are all cars we should be able to get. Somebody's spun. It must be
To keep the tyres cool.
Stroll. Stroll is not having a good time of it recently. And there he goes. He's not having a good time. He had a poor race in Hungary, where he spun about 5 times in that one. He spun again here in Belgium. I mean, it's great for us, but far from ideal for him. I'm sure
Copy.
Ashman will enjoy seeing that happen.
Yeah, take it easy. Copy that.
But we'll jump into 2 times speed now as we watch Alonso. He's dropped off Vettel a bit there, which I'm not a fan of. No need for it. Ocon now in 17th. He's got Gasly just ahead of him. Alonso's trying to close the gap on Sebastian Vettel. He's got the slipstream up Eau Rouge. Can he get him into the corner? Oh, what an overtake. Ocon not able to do the same further back to Gasly. Had a little peek up the inside but doesn't go for anything there. And will jump forward a little bit in this race. Alonso now on the back of Magnussen. We're about to get DRS activated.
DRS enabled.
However, of course, that does mean Magnussen will get DRS off Lando Norris just ahead of him. Lando won't get it off Ricciardo, however. So there's opportunity here. Can we both get past Lando Norris? Alonso, he's had to lift off. Well, that's a bit frustrating for Alonso. How's Ocon doing? Looks like similar may well have happened to Ocon as well. So we'll jump back into the overview and wait until we get towards the corner again. The corner? The start-finish straight. Alonso chasing down Norris. Not able to get him. But he's going to set up for a potential attack up Eau Rouge. And come on, you've got to have him here. You've got to. And he just about does. Ocon behind. How are you not getting past Latifi? My guy. Alonso is having a little look at Magnussen now as well. And if we can clear Magnussen, I fancy Alonso's chances of going and getting Ricciardo as well. Ocon has now passed Gasly. You'll all be pleased to know. I didn't mean Gasly. I meant Latifi. And there's a bit of a gap for him to catch up with Gasly, unfortunately. But I'm sure he'll be able to do that. Alonso's gone and took Magnussen. And now can start closing the gap towards Ricciardo. Not many cars went for the softs at the start of the race. Ocon trying to close the gap towards Gasly and Zhou now. And hopefully we'll see him do that very shortly. But we'll jump back here and let them both do their little chase downs of the cars ahead. Alonso's already closing in on Ricciardo. Not quite going to get the DRS as of yet. He's not quite close enough. However, Ocon is right on the back. Please, please, please don't get stuck in the DRS train. We just can't afford to have that happen in this race. We need a good performance from both our drivers in this one, because Russell is well and truly in a battle for the race lead. Alonso's just took Ricciardo. Very nice to see. Ocon, though, still stuck behind. We're going to get him back onto push, see if he can get past them with that. And I think what we'll do as well, let's just jump on board with Ocon. Let's go into overtake. And
Overtake.
Copy that.
come on. You've got a fresh engine against Alex Albon in a Williams, and you've not managed to pass him. Surely now he's going to pass him. He does. So, he's now off to go and chase down Vettel. Alonso is chasing down Hamilton, who's being held up by Bottas. If we can catch them, we can perhaps... There's Tsunoda in there as well. If we can get ourselves in that fight... Looks like Albon might be about to have Vettel. Alonso's going to be right on the back. There's been a crash. Right. What's gone on here? Can we see what's happened? It's not... Oh. Yes, we can. Charles Leclerc is in the wall. That's huge. So Leclerc came up, locks up, and horrendous crash. Somehow, he's managed to carry on. That would have been a very nicely timed safety car for us as the pit window opens for Alonso. But he's going to have a little look at Hamilton here. Not quite able to get... Oh, he's still battling. Oh, he has to back out in the end. Ocon alongside Vettel, and past he goes into 12th place. Yellow flags in sector 2 now. What's going on? It's not us. We're okay. As long as we're okay, we can deal... It was Magnussen, span. So, Ocon is going to be chasing down Magnussen now, which is nice. Meanwhile, Alonso... Let's go overtake. Let's see if we can get past a couple of these cars. They seem to be frustrating Hamilton. Alonso is on the worn softs, but can he get past? Doesn't look like he's going to be able to. And No. Not at the moment. However, if Bottas and Tsunoda can continue to hold up Alonso, and if we can drop Alonso into open air, there's a pretty good chance we could jump him in the pit stop. That would be absolutely perfect. Ocon closing down Magnussen at the moment, and we're looking pretty good for the time being. I'm assuming we're about to see Leclerc pit. Leclerc stayed out. He's definitely got damage, but he stayed out, which means Ocon has just cleared Leclerc and Magnussen in the same lap. We're going to pit Fernando Alonso on his next lap. Let's tell him to attack and push and deploy for his in-lap, and see if he can make any last moment pushes up the field. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to, but he's coming in this lap anyway, so it's not too important. We're just really hoping he can come out into some space. Here comes Alonso. Big moment, this pit stop. We need a good stop. 2.6, that's pretty good. We'll jump back on board with him. We're also going to pit Ocon on the same lap as planned.
Box, box.
We'll tell him to attack and deploy as well. And Alonso comes out. That is perfect. That is absolutely perfect.
Nearly to left.
He's come out in space. He's got Ocon just behind him, but then Gasly is a few seconds up the road. So now we're going to see, in comes Ocon for his pit stop on the following lap. Can he get a good pit stop as well? 2.6 for Alonso, 2.5 for Ocon. And where's he going to come out? Surely ahead of Latifi. That is perfect on the back of the Ferraris now. It's gone past Charles Leclerc with apps. What on earth is going on? Like, he's missing so much of his wing and they've just left him out. You've got to be frustrated if you're Leclerc in that scenario. But Alonso now got the space to run with. Surely, on the pit stops, he's going to benefit massively. I mean, it does look very much like he will. Ocon's just passed Sainz. Ocon has overtaken Sainz. This is unprecedented form from Ocon. Here come the pit stops. So Alonso remaining 8th at the moment, 7th at the moment. And the guys just in front of him haven't pitted just yet. But Ocon continuing to make good progress. Alonso keeping an eye on when the pit stops come in. Perez is pitted, as is the rest of that group. Alonso might be about to find himself in third place. It's Tsunoda who's coming out just behind him. Their tyres aren't that much fresher than ours as well. So that's a fantastic pit run for Alonso to come out ahead of those guys. And Tsunoda's then spun. It gets even better for us. Alonso does have Hamilton behind him. However, he's in third place. And for the most part, Hamilton, I think, will probably be kind of a bit more towards matching our pace. So perhaps Alonso could find himself with another podium. Ocon, meanwhile, has overtook Norris. And he's going to be having a look at Pierre Gasly very shortly. If we can just get Alonso to the end of this race now, then we are looking very good for... I mean, admittedly, it's still going to be a Mercedes heavy weekend, given that they're going to be second and fourth from the looks of it. But to be able to have a bit of damage control, get Alonso in between them, if he can stay there, of course, then we have done about all we can with this weekend. We just need to make sure that we keep our tyres lasting, and we'll be well away. The gap around 2.4 seconds. We just need to manage it, really. Ocon's overtook Verstappen. Ocon's battling with Max Verstappen. Magnussen's just one run wide. I think Tsunoda might have made another mistake, perhaps. Yeah, Tsunoda, from third before the pit stops, has just... He came out just behind Alonso, and he spun twice on his fresh tyres and fell straight down the order. I don't mean to be harsh, Tsunoda, but you love to see it. It suited us very much. Ocon has dropped off this group with Verstappen, Ricciardo and Gasly a little bit. We'd like to try and get him back into that group. So we're going to get him pushing and deploying a bit more. If we can get onto the back of it, then we might be able to follow Verstappen through that group. And if we can do that, then yeah, we can improve our position a little bit more. However, at the moment, it doesn't appear that we can close that gap at all. We're just going to get Alonso just to deploy a little bit of ERS, try and pull himself out away from Hamilton a bit, because that gap has closed just a touch. So if we can kind of manage it around 2 seconds, that works perfectly for us. Ocon not really able to close that gap ahead of him, although he's also safe from Tsunoda behind. That's my one thing about the end of the season, is I don't know how Ocon will get on as like the lead driver next year. So we're kind of looking at, if he can't be the lead driver, who can he support? We're looking at potentially De Vries, and a few other options as well. I'm in the process of just scouting a whole bunch of drivers to see who would be our best option. Let me know down below who you think we should go for. I know Ash has said Nick De Vries. I think that might have been a little bit of the Monza hype. In fact, I know it was a little bit of the Monza hype. And as I think I've spoken about him before, my one concern is the fact that he is 27. But then it might not be the worst idea if we can then get a reserve driver in behind him that he can eventually replace. We're down to the last 4 laps here at Belgium. This seems to have absolutely flown by. And Alonso is looking like he's going to find himself on the podium. Looking further back, we can see Ricciardo has been separated from the group. We are sending Ocon on the attack. Ricciardo is only just up the road, and if we can get past him, I don't think Gasly and Verstappen are still battling. But we've definitely got a chance to go and take 8th place away from Ricciardo. And we're going to deploy as we head up Eau Rouge towards the DRS straight. There's the DRS detection zone, which means this overtake should... Oh. Okay. That wasn't what I expected. Oh, safety car.
Safety car. Stay positive.
We've got to ignore it because there's high chances. There's 2 laps to go. It is incredibly likely We're about to see the race end under the safety car. The real question here is what caught Sainz and Leclerc are 19th and 20th. Are you telling me Ferrari have just crashed together and caused this safety car? That does seem incredibly likely. We're on to the last lap. We might be having a race under safety car conditions. And that is why we didn't bother to pit, because it would have been incredibly silly. Here comes Alonso to sit behind. I mean, between us and the lead cars, there's still plenty in there. Even between the two lead cars, there's plenty in there. I'm fairly sure. If we jump on board here, yeah. So there's plenty between Perez and Russell, and then a few more between us and Russell. Hamilton is right behind us. Ocon is still catching up with the pack. Didn't manage to get Ricciardo, however.
Safety car will be in this lap.
We'll just make sure we don't get caught out down the final run, because we just don't want that something silly like that to happen. Alonso is going to cross the line for another podium.
Just a reminder, no overtaking until the control line.
And this would be
Okay, copy.
the third podium for Alpine of the season. Across the line he goes, and Ocon in 9th.
Okay, so that's the checkered flag.
We had a good car, so we deserve these double points. Good job, everyone.
Awesome job, mate. That was a solid race, especially first stint. So that's checkered flags.
Great job, guys.
That's P9 and P1. Wait 5 seconds and P0.
So P3 and P9 for Alpine. Drivers' Championship, Alonso moves back above Ocon because 15 points to Ocon's 2. And in the Constructors, we fall further behind Mercedes because they had a phenomenal weekend, to be fair to them. But 3 podiums, to be fair, we're technically better than... We've done some things better than Mercedes. We've got 3 podiums the same as them, but we've had 3 fastest laps. They haven't. Phenomenal. So another good Grand Prix for the Alpine team. We are a number of points behind Mercedes now, but then on the flip side, was third place in the Constructors always a bit ambitious? Probably. I think we were punching above our weight for a while. It would be nice if we can get back into that. But also, Mercedes seem to have turned it on a bit at the minute. So hopefully, we can make progress as we head to Zandvoort next week. We'll obviously do that a lot sooner than a week's time in reality. If you have enjoyed that, please do leave a like down below. Comment where you think our drivers will finish the season. And as I say, please do let me know what drivers you'd like to see me go for next season. Ocon will be staying on, but we need a new driver to replace Alonso. And we need a new reserve driver because Piastri is leaving as well. Subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and thank you very much for watching.